How are you doing?
I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. There. Yep.
Yeah, I'm also looking at since the bird site is going down. I'm looking at the whale.
The whale.
Spoutable.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's a Twitter version that was made actually by the person that does bot defense on Twitter.
Hmm.
It's interesting. I don't know if it's going to be
Twitter killer.
a Twitter killer. But today was the day that all the blue check marks lost their check mark.
I never had one, so
Yeah. But they're leaving and they're taking their hordes with them, which is now causing Musk to shit himself. So to try to save Twitter, he's actually personally paying for Stephen King and LeBron James' Twitter account to keep them on Twitter.
boy, it seems like he did not quite catch what this meant. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's like the things that bother me are about this is that we have so much propaganda and disinformation that people, I mean, this is the same thing I'm discovering with the EV arguments that I'm in. One of the reasons why I'm so fascinated by it, people firmly believe that electric cars are made up, like they don't really work, that like hundreds of thousands of people are buying these things that just sit in their garage so that they can shove it to the conservatives. Like they literally believe that, or that they're making up numbers, or you know what I mean? Where
yeah,
you literally go down the street and you're passing Teslas left and right. And these Teslas are obviously doing their job every day. People are obviously driving them. And it's like, it's so weird that people really are just super buying into this so much that they're willing to literally not believe their eyes. Like, literally. That's
yeah.
so strange and terrifying. And it seems like Musk does the same thing. He's so sure that once he makes it so that everybody can say whatever they want on Twitter, that suddenly the world will be fine again and balance will be returned and the left and the right will finally have equality because the left was just crushing the life out of Twitter. And you know what I mean? And then he does it and it just becomes this cesspool. And then
And
it shuts
then every
down,
time he tries to do something, it becomes worse and worse, and
right?
more people leave, and he's confused by it.
Right. He's like perplexed that it isn't what he was sure that it was. I don't. That's so weird. It's so strange. I don't know. I don't even know how to really, because this is not, he's not alone. My own friends who are conservative are also starting to buy into these weird, like, doesn't make any sense sort of things.
Well, you heard about all the shootings of people that they made a mistake and suddenly they're being, murdered on the spot.
Right.
And
Like the cheerleader.
and what's coming out is these guys are fueled on racism and fear and conspiracy theories that they're gonna die if they don't protect their property.
Yeah. So much so that if you make a mistake, that's a fatal error. Hey, Merrick. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, it's just so strange. And I am perplexed by it. You know what I mean? I'm like super perplexed by all of this.
Hi, Merrick. How you doing?
Hey, Tessa. You
I
dying?
die now? What's
Why are you
going
dying? I like the fact that I can see Merrick and Tessa are here, and we have one viewer, according to the. So I don't know which one of you is our viewer. But one of you two is apparently not real. I don't know what that means. It shows there are 12 viewers here. Oh, now we've got 8 all of a sudden. I guess it just takes time for it to catch up. That's so weird. Huh.
Yeah,
And you guys are showing 12.
from my end, so
Wow.
that was a fun stream you had going on tonight, Tess.
Yeah. I've been getting updates because I'm not stream savvy yet. And legitimately, it was Picard night. I can be excused.
Yeah, that's fine. That is absolutely fine.
Hi, Looney. What's a bridge content?
It's
Uh-oh. Looks like Tan's in slow mode again.
bridge. No, Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, now I'm good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Imagine Dragon Ball Z being a bridge to a 15-minute episode or a 10-minute episode. So the entire episode trimmed down.
I get it.
And they're really funny and they're really well done. And I have a small dog here who's trying to tell me they want to go outside. So give me a moment. Come on, small dog. Let's go outside.
All right. Hey, David. Hey, Brent. So, I am setting up my scene here. I'm trying to write in all of the things I'm thinking about for this scene. See you in a bit, Tess. I like the fact that we're just looking at an empty room over there. Is a room still a room if no one's in it? You alliance? Am I a lion? Well, when you say I have a mighty roar. Still one of my. If anybody knows where I was quoting there, one of my favorite scenes. It's actually a good episode. That was from Firefly. It was probably a bad quote from Objects in Space. But I love that scene because he like mishears them. Nobody ever does that, you know? But in real life, of course, we mishear people all the time. Hi, you. You here to visit? You know your paws don't work to unlock my phone? Just saying. Nobody has seen George's butt in a while, so he decided that he needed to show you his butt.
Oh, we got a George. Has he knocked over the cup?
Yeah, he's already knocked over the cup during the opening credits. His work here is done. So, Brent, have you seen the finale of Mandalorian and or the finale of Picard? Well, then you know that everybody dies in the end, of course, naturally. That Mandalorian really did stick the landing. They did a good job. Everybody dies.
This is the way.
This is the way. They definitely stuck the landing on Picard. I'm glad they
What
made.
is with the traffic suddenly?
Yeah, you're getting to put traffic stuff.
Huh?
You mean traffic on our channel? What?
No, beside my house. Like street traffic.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I'm suddenly being quiet. I'm trying to figure out this page.
That's what I'm doing too. And good luck on that one, Brent. I've been trying to figure out HTML since the 90s. Still don't
I
quite
used to know HTML like you, and then I took an arrow to the knee.
What's your YouTube page?
Huh?
What's your YouTube page? He's trying to get us linked together so that we all have links.
Oh. Hang on.
There you go. So, Merrick, what's going on with you? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm just wondering what's up. What's going on in your life? Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Mm-hmm. Woohoo. Village Inn. Gotcha. OT again, huh? Mm. Overtime kills you all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last upgrade time. Is it because your case is too small? Not the right configuration? So the next upgrade set you're going to go for, you're going to have to swap the whole mess out? Okay. Good night, Brent. We'll see you in the morning. Sleep well, my friend.
Wait, small dog. What is it that you want? You went up on my lap? You're very excited about something. Okay. Alright, give me a sec. Crap. Oh, calm down. Seriously, guys, calm down. Show me.
What processor are you going for? Brian just vanishes there. Oof, gone. Here 1 minute, gone the next. Leaving me in silence over here. Oh, something disconnected and reconnected. Something disconnected again. It wasn't on my side.
Back in. He's been out twice already. Yeah.
Yeah, something had discoed on your side. I heard it do the beep. So you may be missing something.
No, everything seems to be here.
Maybe it disconnected and reconnected.
And the dogs are being a pain this evening.
Right? All right. So I've set up the scene in the mess hall, and I think I've got it going through here. So this time I added better spec into this too, the gunny, because I feel like that'd be fun to put in there. So better spec and Mayrel are eating in the mess when Arbo comes in. That's the Marine head. And he says, "Not bad flying back there." And she says, "Thanks." And Arbo goes, "Well, for a Navy pilot." And then she goes, "Ah, there it is. Wait, what?" And then Better Spec says, "She thought you were going to make a crack about her being Deistati." And Arbo says, "Yeah, I don't care. You're our family now. Anyway, you impressed me and I'm not easy to impress." And Mayrel's like, "Well, thank you." Then Arbo says, "I do have a question though. During the drop, were you singing?" And Better Spec goes, "Ha!" And Mayrel says, "Yes, sir. I didn't think anyone could hear me." And Arbo says, "I have good ears." And Mayrel says, "Yes, the Deist children are taught perfect pitch and timing. I time my maneuvers to the beat." And Better Spec says, "She's been singing under her breath since she came aboard, mostly body sea shanties." And Mayrel goes, "What? They were children's songs." Better Spec goes, "Hey, I don't judge." Mayrel goes, "You're tone deaf." And Better Spec says, "Oh, that's true." I thought that was much better to have those two bantering a little, because they both work in the same division, because he's Gravitics, which is right behind the pilot house. So the two of them are always working together. So I wanted to show that they were bantering a little.
Works for me.
Yeah, I thought
and the
so.
dialogue works for me too.
Yeah, I feel like that dialogue's a little solid there. That's pretty good. All right.
this. I think that's what he is missing. And that's when he went full on Stephen King.
Yep. Oh, hey LT, what's it look like out there? And Arbo says, rough. Haven't seen anything like it since the war. I feel like Better Spec should say something like that, say something to that.
What's the line?
So the Marine and Better Spec are all old hands. They were in a war.
Yeah, no. What? Give me the line again.
So it's rough. So Better Spec says, hey LT, what's it look like out there? And Arbo says, rough. Haven't seen anything like it since the war. And I feel like anything after that, because that's kind of the. You know what? You know what it is? That line isn't good. I'm going to take this line out because really it should be something like he should, because he's from the war, right? So he should say something like, man, it is ugly out there and I was on Iwo Jima. You know what I mean? Like, say something like that, because that's what he should say. If he says it's rough and he was a Marine that was at Iwo Jima, you know what I mean?
Well, it also gives you a chance to world build.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is like whatever is their version of Iwo Jima.
I was there when Horus slew the Emperor.
Right. bad, and I've never seen destruction like this, and I was at Iwo Jima. I'll replace Iwo Jima with whatever.
No, no, no. Uh, I haven't seen destruction like this since Iwo Jima.
Because Iwo Jima should still be worse.
Yeah,
Okay.
like this is bad.
Iwo Jima was worse though. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it puts put it it puts it into the reader's head that whatever Iwo Jima was really bad.
I'll change that out whenever I decide where that fight was. He's been fighting a different race that we haven't actually introduced here.
But you get what I'm saying?
No, yeah, bad. I haven't seen destruction like this since Iwo Jima. See you later, Merrick. Good night.
Good night, Merrick.
Good to have you here. Destruction like this since Iwo Jima. Mirel says, damn. Harbo's like, yeah, we're going to need a lot more help. That's it. I feel like the scene before it. They're in engineering. Originally, I was going to be talking to engineering about this, and I feel like this needs to be a different discussion. What else am I not including in this? Our science officer, Pachinko. Pachiko. Pachiko.
You need one guy who goes, God, I've only heard stories out of that area.
Yeah. So I was listening to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, and he was going line by line on what the Japanese were doing during World War II. And he was going into the things that you never hear about, the pieces of the story that nobody talks about, because the only people who recorded it were reporters who were there. And then when those reports got back, the State Department censored it all because it was too graphic and too gross, and they were afraid that if you really told what was going on out there, people would stop joining the military. But of course, now with 70 or 80 years behind us, all those reports are out. But they now are coming out in just history books. They're not, nobody's reporting on it anymore. You just get it in the history books.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Saipan, and he was talking about Iwo Jima and all of those battles, and they were brutal. They were horrible, terrible things. And it was because the Japanese were running such a powerful propaganda machine that the people legitimately thought that if they got caught by the Americans, they would be tortured for months until they died. So not just died, but tortured. So they were willing to commit suicide rather than get captured. And so thousands of Japanese would jump to their deaths at the same time, while the Marines were busy saying, no, we promise we won't do anything. Please just stand down, And they were like committing suicide left and right and blowing themselves up with grenades. And I mean, it was just horrible. And these Marines are getting super traumatized by all of this. Like, war is already brutal enough. But when you have civilians that just would rather die than surrender because they've been told that if they surrendered, they'd be tortured to death. And so it was just better to just die. And it's so horrible, like the things that the Marines had to endure, things like women would strip naked and then charge the lines with pikes, just knives at the end of sticks.
Yeah.
They charge the lines because the fact that they were naked women would make the soldiers hesitate. And so the soldiers then had to actually shoot these naked women down and gun them down. And it was just like, that's enough to mess up anyone. You know what I mean? Like, that's so horrible on both sides. Horrible for the women who did it, and horrible for the soldiers who had to then shoot them. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my God. It's just like brutal stuff.
That's war for you.
Really isn't a good thing.
Nope.
War is not good. People should not war should be brutal. War, when it comes to Bellatrix Rising, when war gets here, it's not going to be fun or pretty, because it isn't. War makes money. War makes money. It does at that. I think one of the problems that people have is that as time goes on, we forget how bad war is.
Well, it's like that old saying. Um, was it bad times make for? Oh God. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it's from a uh, post-apocalyptic novel.
Well, yeah, because the belief is that the weak men don't do anything about stopping the apocalypse.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I agree necessarily. I think ignorance starts the apocalypse. I think I'd go with ignorant men cause hard times. Because I think we're all capable of strength when the chips are down. You know, everybody is. I think the thing that I'm now most worried about is ignorance. It's killing me now because a couple of my buddies are now falling for the COVID thing. Look at this YouTube video. We've been lied to. COVID wasn't real. And I'm like, dude, COVID was real. And you guys just need to stop. Because now there are people who have lost people to COVID. Saying that's kind of like saying the Holocaust isn't real.
Yeah. Well, you know my opinion of that.
Yep. Hey, you're one of the reasons why I have no doubt. You know, COVID didn't do you any favors.
Not even the second time I got it. In fact, that screwed me up even more.
Yeah.
And
Well,
now,
mhm.
and now I have something of which I really need to look into it. I have a major health problem, and I don't have the money to deal with it.
Right. Yeah. I don't have the money to help you either.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
I'm not asking.
I know you're not. You wouldn't. But I'd offer if I had it. Just so you know.
And again, it's not something I would want to wish on my worst enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
Speaking of which, we should probably test here soon. Especially if Pepper is starting to develop con crud.
Oh, yeah. COVID test? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a COVID test downstairs. I'll do it tomorrow. That's not a bad idea. I, you were like, speaking of which, we should test real soon. And I'm like, test how to make money. That's where my brain was going. Because I'm like, how do we make money?
No, we just had a con.
Yeah. We should test to make sure we're not carrying.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. Especially before we go hang out with people.
Yeah.
Also, because I think my immune system has been killing it every time it gets to me. Because I have managed to not conveniently, but it's been conspicuously, I've been conspicuously not sick with it, which makes me
Yeah.
wonder if I have the genetic coding that they're talking about some people have, where they're carriers, but they don't come down with it. Or if my psoriasis makes my immune system supercharged or whatever. But either way, I'm still carrying it, and that's a different story.
Yeah. I would also just be. I would be careful with that attitude.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's I have to take a conscious effort to not become careless with that. Yeah, no, because
Yeah, I know.
it's easy to fall into that trap.
particularly nowadays.
Hmm?
I said particularly nowadays.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know.
Okay, this music is starting to put me to sleep.
You
There is nothing for me to resume.
didn't even say the C word.
Computer red alert.
Now you said the C word.
And it didn't react to me. Now I'm mad.
Don't taunt it though. Okay. Hey, Legend, you saw the kid. What's her story? Well, the doc cleared her, but she wants to go find her family. Better Spec says, out there? Arbo goes, brave girl. There's nothing left out there. There we go. The doc cleared her, but she wants to go find her family. Out there? Brave girl. There's nothing left out there. Then Mayrel says, sometimes you need to see the end of the chapter in order to move on. There we go. Sometimes you need to see the end of the chapter with your own eyes in order to move on. That's what we wanted to really see. There we go. She'd been singing under her breath since she came aboard, mostly body sea chanties. Mayrel says, what? They're children's songs. Betterspec says, hey, I don't judge what you sing to your young. That's better. Mayrel says, you're deaf, Gunny. Betterspec says, you're not wrong, sir. That sounds a little bit more like it. Because I think she
Yeah.
knows he's messing with her. There we go. And that's good, because then sometimes you need to see the end of the chapter with your own eyes. The next scene is on the landing ramp. And it's Nav and Nalix. And that means that we can take this piece, move it. Good evening, Neon. Good to see you.
Hello, how are you?
I'm going to pick a different color for the scene.
I hope the evening finds you well.
Evening keeps tracking me all over the place and chasing me. I don't know what its problem is. Okay, after landing ramp. Sitting down to work, huh? I get that one. What's your big problem with storyboards? You have no script. Okay, so you happen to catch me at just the right time. This is my script. Right here. This is literally the way I script stuff now. I used to do the whole thing with, write a script in Word and and go through all the machinations. And I realized that when doing that, I ended up with comics that were just overly wordy, and they weren't necessarily, I didn't let myself convey story with pictures. So instead, what I realized was it was better for me to just do this. So these are all the individual pages. Sometimes I thumbnail, like you can see right here that I've been thumbnailing, because these scenes don't have anything that's really going on, right? I mean, there's no words. This is all just pictures. But here on the landing ramp, we actually have the characters talking. Moreover, above it, right here, I literally have like dialogue written all out. Like they're actually talking to these are characters all talking to each other in this scene. So I went on ahead and just hand wrote in all of the dialogue. But the reason that this is useful is because my comic will be exactly 32 pages, which is important because I like to print them out as comics that have, it makes it nice and convenient. It's very comforting to me to have a restriction like that. It keeps me writing my stories in a compact way. Otherwise, I just ramble, pretty much like I'm doing right now. Anyway, this may not work for you at all. The way I'm doing it right here may not work at all. I'm just simply saying it's not always required to go for a script.
Yeah, you'll find the techniques that work for you, especially as time goes on and the more you do it.
Sort my thumbnail without a script. I'm using repetitive panels, layouts. Oh, while you're figuring out the scene? That makes sense. I just wanted to make sure, because I know a lot of people say when we write comics, make sure you write from the script. And I'm like, meh. Now I'm starting to go, maybe you don't care. You know what I mean?
Which is kind of how I go, You've seen me, right?
Of course, I'm now getting old enough where I'm like, I don't think I care anyway. However, I get the story written. It's like, nobody tells me what to do now. I'm a grumpy old man. I can be a grumpy old man now. Yeah. Grump. Nobody tells me what to do. I'm old. Benefits of being a grumpy old man. All right. Yeah. When you wrote your novels, when you envisioned them, did you envision them in scenes? Like the scene at the front of the castle, and then the scene that was in the main hall, and then, this character had to talk to that character, and kind of develop your scenes like that?
What is this?
Neon's talking about originally writing it as 3 novels and is now trying to convert that to comic pages, which is hard. Because I think if you're there, your best bet might be to just take those scenes and ask, what was the goal of this scene? And break it down from there. Recommendation. I don't know. Anyway, what do I know? I'm an old guy.
Okay, well, I need to discover what that was.
Yep, that was something went thump. How much structure do you need, do you think? Are you the kind of person that needs a lot of structure to kind of rein yourself in? Are you attracted to structure? I should say, are you attracted to structure? Not because I'm an ADDer. I have ADD, so like for me, structure is somewhat critical. Otherwise, I just meander. Goodness knows where I'll be. So I like to structure things. It also, I feel like, pushes my creativity a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, gets me to kind of break out. Yeah. Fair. So then I would think, what's the scope? How big do we think your stories are? Are they, for example, when I work on Bellatrix Rising, I know I have 22 episodes. Each episode has three issues. Each issue is 32 pages. And that gives me a framework that I can work in. So, is each chapter of your book one issue of a comic? How many chapters are in your book? You know? The other thing I'd like to think about is, where will you leave the reader at the end of each issue? Like, I really like to leave the reader on a cliffhanger. Like, what's going to happen next? And that's a good place to end every issue. But now that I'm also kind of looking at the possibility that it might be 16 pages in each chapter, 45 to 60 pages, okay? 25 volumes. Yeah, 4 to 5 chapters a book. Yeah. Okay. Those could make clean places for an issue. I mean, each chapter might be 16 pages. You know what I mean? Like, see if that fits. Oh, it is crazy. Creatives are weird. We're a weird lot. Like, you never know what we'll do. I'm impressed that you got that far down the road. I'm impressed you stayed with it. More than anything, that's what I'm always impressed with, is people who stay with it. Because I didn't start writing my great American novel, if you will. Nah, do what you need to do. Do the important parts. I didn't start my great American novel until I was in my late 40s. Yeah. So what I usually feel is that when people give that advice, they're trying to prevent you from having to rewrite, having to George Lucas your stories. If you're not worried about that, I wouldn't be worried at all. Do what you need to do. Your muse tells you what to do. You're at the whim of your muse. For some people, that muse says specific things. For other people, the muse doesn't. It's just the way it goes.
I also hate that term that you use.
Which one?
George Lucasing.
Yep. Bah. I am literally twice your age. So, and I'm just now starting this. You've got to jump on me. Don't worry about it. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. You can just keep coming back in here and hanging with us, and we'll be continuing to make these all the time. And you can keep continuing to make all the things that you make and hang with us, and we'll get it done. It's like an elephant. You eat it one bite at a time. Why do you hate that I say that term George Lucasing?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you use it kind of negatively.
I do use it negatively.
As you are to never go back and touch what you've done in the past. You have created something that you should never go back and touch again. And I get where that's coming from, but at the same time, when you're younger in your art, particularly when you're just starting out, like, you don't want to get bogged down in the details, definitely, but at the same time, you don't want to, like, if you screw up, it's okay to erase, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you're almost making it sound like you should never erase a line. Once it's there, it's set in stone.
I feel like you're misreading what I'm trying to say. Because I get that. And, by the way, my personal opinion is very much that. I mean, I think part of it is that my personal philosophy for me is that. Like, set this up nice so that I don't have to go back over it. You know what I mean? But, I mean, we just did this in this comic. Issue 1, she clearly was not singing. Mayrel was not singing. And now they're talking about her singing. Like, all the time. So I've already read something, and I'm only on issue 2. So clearly I don't follow my own advice. However, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about when I say George Lucasing. I'm talking about going back and fussing with things is different than going back and changing everything. But I feel like George Lucas was never happy with his work. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that. He wasn't happy with it.
Right?
And he's definitely not happy with the new movies.
No, he's not.
And he's really pissed that he sold the rights to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean whenever I say George Lucasing. Like, I feel like he's like he made it, and he needs to go back and change this scene, and he needs to go back and change that scene, and that scene didn't work, and he really needs to go back and now that he's older, he feels like he should change all of these things, and he should change all of those things. And I think when I'm giving Neon, the advice that I'm giving Neon is I believe that people fear that. Like, they fear that what's going to end up happening is that Neon's going to start writing and they're not going to like the first volume. They're not going to, in 2 years or 3 years, they're going to wish they could rewrite the first volume, and they'll be mad about it, and they'll be unhappy, and that's what they're fearing. And my whole thought is, it doesn't really matter. You can go back and rewrite it if you want. There's no reason not to. There's no reason to stress it. Sometimes you write your great American novel, then put it in a drawer and then come back 3 years later and rewrite your Great American Novel.
Well,
You know?
and that's the advice Stephen King has,
Yeah.
is write it as quickly as you can, finish it, shove it in a drawer and forget about it and let it marinate, and then come back to it later and see how you feel.
Right. And that's actually what I was headed for, was don't worry about that. Don't stress that.
Yeah.
You know, don't
Particularly if you're early on in your career, don't worry so much about the product that you're looking at creating the Great American Novel.
Mhm.
Right now, you're just trying to put out a novel, and that's more important.
Yeah. Neon's like, I already have plans for a 10-volume anniversary. where they redo the first volume.
Right now, don't even plan on that. Just plan on getting issue 1 out.
Yeah, it hasn't escaped yet. So let it escape. See, the best part about this whole thing is, so we had Kat on here who's with Global Comics and usually drops in to help us on all of our stupid stuff, because we do stupid stuff all the time and they're brilliant. And so it's great to have them on here. But they were talking about, you know, when they post their comic to Global Comics, they watch the analytics, and if
Like
they
a
see,
hawk.
yeah, like a hawk, and if they see that a page is not doing well, like people are reading up to like page 8 or something, and then they quit, then they'll go back and redraw page 8 and change the story pieces and re-upload a new page 8. I mean, like, I never even thought of that. That was such a mind-boggling idea for me. It just never occurred to me. And I'm actually looking at that right now thinking I might go back and put little notes around Mayrel to indicate that she's singing in the first issue, which has already not only been released but printed. You know, I've got it sitting over there. I've got hundreds of copies. Well, I got 70 copies. I don't have hundreds, but I've got 70 copies. Maybe even not 70.
But also, don't be afraid to change it, because you only have 70 or 80 copies.
Yeah.
And it's self-published. It's not like the publisher has gone, we like this.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing that says that I can't go back and change it. And I liked what I came up with this idea of this scene between 3 of my characters where the pilot's talking to the gravitics officer who's talking to the Marine, and they're all talking together, and the Marine's like, "Were you singing?" And the pilot's like, "Yeah, I use that for timing, because I can keep my timing when I'm flying. As long as it's to the song, to a song, it's easier for me to remember." And they were like, "Oh, that's pretty brilliant, actually. You know, it's really smart." But then I was realizing that all these scenes where we've seen my piloting in the previous issue, there's no hint that they're singing. So it's kind of funny. Upload to Global Comics, man. I'll follow you.
Am I even trying right now?
How far ahead do you guys plan? This is where you're going to get the very different story between.
So, would you like to lead off with the sane answer?
Because you're not sane at all.
No.
Okay. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. In Act 1, Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Act 2, Episode 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Act 3, all the way to the very end, the epilogue. So these all carry... Oh, whoa, not that far back. Inside each one of these, then, is each issue. Here's issue 1, 2, and 3. Inside each one of these is all the pages. Now, how far out am I as far as story goes? Every episode so far just has a Word document which explains what's going on. But that's it so far. Like into the Sakura, which is the second episode of Bellatrix Rising, after Momentary Ghosts, there's only that. Like Oxygen Inc. only has its Word document. But the Word document is pretty, complicated sometimes. Sometimes it's just this, and it's just this much of a rundown. And then sometimes it's really complicated stuff, depending on what it is. So, but I know where this story begins and ends. Like, here's the master document, which runs all of them. And so each one of these has sort of rundowns of each episode. So we kind of get a breakdown of where everything is going all the way to the very end. So that's where I'm kind of at on this one. It's a little difficult, but yeah. So that's where I am to this one, is like, I know where I'm going in the long arc, and I know where the short arcs go. Now go for the insane question, which is, how does Kayan do it?
So, I have the entire story in my head.
Yep. Hit by a bus, nobody's gonna be able to recover it.
So, I know where I'm going exactly. The thing is that I also leave room for change as change happens. But, like, I know where this story is going to end, and it's going to more or less end on that note when I get to it. Like, I kind of know. I start from what would be the pivotal moment. Particularly in this story, I started with what I thought was going to be the beginning, and it turned out to be the middle. And now I'm working my way forward. But I already have the ending more or less in my head. And yet I have room to grow.
But you don't know how many issues you've got in you on this one?
I have a page count, a roundabout page count, but I don't have issues. No.
I've always been kind of curious how far down the road you were.
Like, I'm looking at a minimum of about 300 pages. And it could be more by the time I get there.
Right.
What am I even doing with this page? Holy crap! What is going on?
Is somebody giving him an egg?
No, he has an egg.
Oh, he has an egg. Gotcha.
So, like, this is Mr. Sunshine has just met up with Brig,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's kind of realized that someone is coming in and messing with his territory, and he doesn't like that. And this is the first time we're actually seeing what Mr. Sunshine is.
Gotcha.
I don't think originally I had intended to show Mr. Sunshine like this till much later in the story,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it actually kind of works here that because I've been setting up and hinting at what he is. But this is the first time you're sitting there going, oh, he a bad man.
Yeah. I think you. Dang it. I gotta think this one out. Okay. Character needs to get away. But she's also running a ruse in a way. So Alex needs to leave the ship in a convincing way. In between. Well, I mean, obviously, Neon, if you've got your books written, you've already got quite a good idea of where your story is going.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty cool. I think that's great because you've got source material. So I always refer kind of to my muse because I have a very distinct inner voice that tells me what, where, when, why, how to do my stories. I also do a comic strip from time to time, and I've noticed, like, I tried to go political with my comic strip, and I just ran out of funny things to say all of a sudden. Like, my muse was like, no, you can't do that. Okay, gotcha. So, when your muse tells you to change story pieces, just go with it. Don't fight it.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's just the way it goes. My other bit of advice. Really need to get her off the ship here, folks. Gotta think this through.
Do you though?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So kind of like everything's a flash forward, except for the prologues. Or rather, the prologues are all flashbacks. Makes kind of sense. I like it. It's a good mechanic. And yes, she needs to get away from the ship so that she can talk to the cat.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
As silly as that sounds. And it does.
It sounds silly, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is ridiculously silly.
Am I making this hard on myself? He's gone from this funny, jokey character to, oh my god.
Right.
Oh, you are filling. It's just filling in white. That's why.
5 minutes remaining.
Gotcha. That's kind of cool. I like where you're going with this one. Okay, so stakes as in to the heart. I'm just saying. Okay, see, I'm a dad. I'm required to do dad jokes. I'm sorry. But I think that all vampire stories have high stakes. I think Neon, I think you beat me to the dad joke. I like Navin's telling Alex here, if you need us, just call. We'll come get you. David has to add the chrome. There was, so we were, when we were in Japan, we had to go, do something which required us to go to the consulate, the U.S. consulate. So we went down. It was in the middle of Tokyo, and we went into the consulate. There was this really big buff Marine there, like, in uniform and everything, and he had a sidearm on him and everything like that. And yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you there, Neon. So anyway, he had this sidearm, he was like armed and everything like that, and big guy. And I just went up to him and I was, right? You can keep this up all the time. But I mean, like, he was talking to us and he said, is your address up to date? And I said, well, yeah, I believe so. And he goes, good, because if anything happens, we will come get you. You stay right where you are and we will come get you and get you out. And I was like, there's something both terrifying and comforting about that, at the same time. But I mean, he was so intense. He was like, we will come get you. You stay there. We will come get you. I was like, because the Marines, anytime anything happens, the Marines go in to get the U.S. citizens out right away. And I'm like, this is Japan. What could possibly go wrong here? Because, of course, we left just before 3/11. I never even thought about 3/11. You know what I mean? So, like, and that was my area that got hit. So, still a thing. I still freak out about 3/11. All right. That, I feel, is better. So Navin gives Alex a portable Replimat. And then they just kind of sit there for a second. And then he goes, are you sure you don't want company? And Alex says, there really isn't much here that can hurt me. And this is something I just need to do alone. And he goes, okay, but if you need us, just call. We will come get you. It's that same feel. And that puts her on like many pages to this end here. Like the lowest point in the story. It's where she's walking through the wastes. And then she just ends up underneath the... And it's raining. Everything has to be raining. Did I mention that before? Why it's raining?
Huh?
Did I mention why it's
talking to me?
Yeah. Do you remember what you... Okay, I wrote it down. Never mind, I did. Okay. You would transfer in 2 minutes. Roger, standing by. It's rain. People.
rules. That's it, right? The rules.
Pilot house closed. Buses 3, 4, and 5. Nice. Or bus 3, 4, 5 closed. And that's it. We're just a battery now. Nope. What are we doing here? Do you know what we're doing here? We're a generator.
How does this third frame look?
I like the third frame. I like the darkness you're giving them. There's a lot of black in that. I like it a lot. Neon agrees. Good contrast. Talked to Donald. The decision is not med lab, it's sick bay. So, oh, you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Navy guy. I like that. Still feel like that I'm not going to be able to do that great scene that I want to do now. You were talking about language being a problem, rough language.
What scene?
Well, I've got the scene where the translator scene where it was like, you know, it was like, you just said shit. No, I didn't say shit. Why would I say shit? I said shit. You just said it again. I didn't. Why would I talk about that? Because like the translator keeps translating the same word back and forth. It's still one of my, because I keep thinking about like in Star Trek when they have universal translators, and the universal translators are always like perfect. There's got to be like slang that wouldn't ever translate properly, and so the translators have to guess. Make a
So
leap.
have fun with it.
Yeah, I was totally thinking that.
Like, that's the one thing I love.
Are you out there? Oh, you're in slow mode again.
Talk.
You were in slow mode for a second there.
Okay, what about now?
You're good now.
Okay. You'll see me write down when people are talking, like what they said.
Yeah.
Because I so love speech. Okay, you can't say shit, but you could say some really funny bits of dialogue
Right.
that would have the same effect or be even more bizarre.
Right.
Like craptacular.
Right.
You know, instead instead of saying shit, you could say, well, here, he goes, what has the military been futzing with?
Right.
You never see futzing in a comic.
Yep.
I think at one point in one of my comics, I had a character referred to another character as a degenerated backhoe.
Degenerated backhoe. That's interesting.
Does it make sense? Probably not. But it's a great, it kicks you in the brain and makes you think about what's being said.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are at 12:09. So I think I am going to head to bed. I'll be up in the morning to continue working on this project. But I want to get to a solid script form pretty soon here. Because I want to get started on these two. I'm concerned that I'm hoping to at least start getting cracking on the actual pages in hopes that we can have them ready for IACon, but I doubt. I have some hope of it. Good night, Neon. I hope you join us again. I enjoy your company. Good night, David. I know you're out there too. Hope you do well. Oh, and David, we probably, now that Picard is over, we've got a few weeks before they start another Star Trek. So I'll be able to come to the Thursday night meetings. So I might switch from Tuesday to Thursday nights and keep the Tuesday nights here with the family. Just so you know, because the kiddo wants to see you and hang out with you again. That's been his primary question. Is David there? Because he likes hanging out with you. Which is cool because I think you like hanging out with him, so it's all good. So, okay, well then, I'm going to go on ahead and close this down tonight, Ken.
Okay, go for it.
And I will see you on the morning when you have to fight with your blankets, because that's a normal thing. And then Neon, the next time we're up, it will be Sunday night, just so you know that we don't usually broadcast at night on Friday night because we're all hanging out with our buddies, and we don't broadcast on Saturday at all. We don't do a morning on Sunday. So we'll be back in here on Sunday night, and we will see you then if you wish to join us. So, and as always, everybody remember to keep their eyes on the stars. Good night.
Bye.